Good evening, everybody. It is a pleasure to be introducing Kinjal Bhatt, who is the presenter of today's book review on the famous book
Good evening.
called The Alchemist. Over 30 million copies of the books were sold, and it was published in 26 languages. Kinjal lives in Mumbai, and by profession, she is a teacher. She is now pursuing her company secretary course in Mumbai. And her interest includes she is a huge fan of watching horror movies, thriller movies, and suspense movies. And she reads a lot of books during her free time. And she loves solving Sudoku. If anybody can challenge her, just reach out to her. Thank you so much, Kinjal. It's all yours.
Thank you so much, Vijay sir. And for the challenge part, I can actually take the challenge. I'm not being overconfident, but I'm just like very confident for that. Thank you very much for introducing me to this wonderful group. I've been in touch with this group since I've been a part with Bhagwati ma'am, and we've been friends for a long time now. And today I'm getting this opportunity is a great thing for me because I really love books and I love talking about books. And if I'm getting to present this today is more than anything that I would desire. So without wasting any further time, I would just start with the book because that's what I want to do today. I'll just be sharing my screen with you all. All right. So, me being a teacher, please, I would like to apologize from the very beginning if it ever feels like I'm being a teacher and teaching you all. I'm really sorry for that. But I'll try my best to be a speaker today, and I would just erase that teacher part from me today. So, before starting anything, I would be covering 4 major points today. That is the introduction, author, plot, and the lesson. Lessons, I've highlighted the part because that is the most important part that I have learned from this book. And why this is so important, you will know as we go forward in this whole session. So, moving on with the first part is the introduction. So, before starting anything, I would just like to ask what is the significance of a dream in your life? Everybody who is a part of the session today, can anybody tell me what is the significance of a dream in anybody's life? Like how do we explore our dreams, or how seriously do we take our dreams? Anybody who has anything to say, how seriously do we take our dreams? I would just presume nobody is taking dreams seriously. Should I assume that? All right.
Dreams, there are two dreams. One is the flowery dreams, which you can just enjoy, know that you had a dream the previous night you slept. The other dream is something which is serious, where you have to set some goals in your life to achieve them. If you are really serious to know see that you want to achieve all that thing during your span of life, then you should have a specific goal to achieve your dream.
True. That's exactly what I wanted. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Dreams are actually a huge part of our life, and they do have a huge significance in our life. Every time when we are sleeping or when we are awake, we are visualizing something in our heads. And that visualization is what this book is all about. The book Alchemist is a very theoretical thing that I want to put in front of you all today. Considering what an alchemist is, if in a normal language we consider this, alchemist is actually a raw science where a scrap is being converted to something special like gold. And how is the scrap being converted to gold is actually miracle. but yet it is connected to science. So how it is connected to science, it's all within ourselves, and that is in our mind. And so how we can connect the spirituality, our mentality, to this book, and how we can implement in our life is what we're going to be knowing today. This is the author of the book already. Sir has said a lot about the author, so I'm not going to waste any time, and I'm just going to say the author is Paulo Coelho, and he has written many other books, but this one is particularly very famous because this has got something that everybody had in their minds, but yet everybody was just fearing to pursue that. Everybody has a set of goals, dreams in their mind, but yet somehow only few people are able to reach there. Why is it? That is what clearly Paulo Coelho has actually explained in this book. Getting to the plot of the story is very simple yet very interesting. The protagonist of our story is Santiago, the boy that we can see in the image. Santiago is the protagonist of our story, and he is the hero. He is the whole and soul life living complex of the story. He, being the most important person in the story, he has something that is a recurring dream. He continuously dreams about something. The dream is actually about a hidden treasure that is there in the pyramids. But how to go there? How will he reach there? Everything is a bit confused. But because he's having this recurring dream in his head, the whole story takes place when he starts to believe that, okay, this dream has some significance in my life and I can achieve that dream. That is what he's imagining. The story begins with a father and a son conversation. Father is all set, ready to make his son a priest. Father really wants his son to be a priest, and he also talks to his son that being a priest is a good thing, that's into our family, we'll be having a happy life. But the son is having some other plans. Like a normal story, son is already set and he is assuming the part that no, I do not want to be a priest. All I want to be is a person who can roam around the world. I want to roam around. I want to see the world. Now, this boy, whose name is Santiago, he's actually living in a very small village. And assuming the fact, is छोटे से village में, he's having this dream of pursuing the whole world is in itself a huge thing. And how this is going to happen, he doesn't know that. But yet he's having the power to dream and pursue that he wants to go roam around the world. He gathers up the courage, talks to his father that I don't want to be a priest. I want to be a person who can roam around the world, explore the world. To his much happiness, his father is quite understanding, and he does say that if you want to pursue the world, there's no other job better than being a shepherd. With the sheep, with the animals that you have, you can go everywhere, you can roam around everywhere. So you become a shepherd, you roam around everywhere, earn some money, and do your living. And that is what exactly he does. He follows his father's advice and he moves with his flock of sheep. He's going everywhere. While he is going, he's continuously having the dream of a treasure that is hidden in the pyramids. Now, what is that about? He's having this recurring dream. Every night when he's sleeping, he's seeing that he's going towards the pyramid, he's digging that thing down, and as soon as he's going to touch that thing, he's awake. So what is that about? Now he's very confused. So what he does, he goes to a gypsy and asks to just unleash this whole scenario that is being in his head about his dream. Like, what is this? Why am I having this dream? The gypsy says that this dream you're having is actually your life purpose. This is what you have to achieve. You have to go to the pyramids, Egypt, you have to go to Egypt, to the pyramids, you have to dig down, get that treasure. And that is your life purpose. Initially, he's very shaken, he's very bored because he's like, I get it, but who's going to go all the way to Egypt and do this? But because until and unless he started his journey of going to Egypt, he kept on having those dreams. He was always having these dreams. So he finally decides that no matter what, I will be moving forward to achieve my dream. And that's what he does. In the middle of his path, he is having lots and lots of challenges. Challenges that are unbelievable, challenges that are so hard to achieve, but yet he's adamant to do it. He's meeting the love of his life in the middle. He's meeting a lot of people. He's being robbed twice. And he is working with a crystal merchant in the whole story plot. And yet, while he's doing everything, while all the challenges he's facing, the one thing that is constantly in his mind is that I want to go and now take that treasure that is hidden for me in the pyramids. Now, we all in our lives have a dream. Maybe it's not a treasure hidden somewhere, but something that we want to do, that we want to achieve in our life. But most often, we just ignore that part. It's just a dream. It's just a wish. And why do I say this? Because as children, we always hear fantastic answers from children. When I ask my students, what do they want to become? Some would say they want to become a chef. Some would say they want to become pilots. Some would say they want to become artists. They want to become painters. They want to become footballers, and so many different things. You'd find variety. And as soon as they start growing up, their dreams of becoming something changes into materialistic things. Like, no, you know what? I'll just become a teacher like me. Or maybe something like which everybody is doing. Like if I'm taking commerce, I have to do CA. If I'm doing science, I have to do doctors, maybe, or engineer. Something very much alike what everybody else is doing. It's very rare to find that somebody is actually pursuing their dream of becoming a guitarist, maybe, or maybe a pianist or a chef. It's very rare. So this book is my favorite because this person, Santiago, actually goes to the pyramids, achieves his dream, and then he fulfills it to the fact that, yes, I did what I had to. The universe conspires to it. You know this very famous dialogue of Shah Rukh Khan's movie, कि जब हम किसी चीज को शिद्दत से चाहते हैं तो पूरी कायनात उसे हमसे मिलाने में जुट जाती है. ये झूठ नहीं है. This is not false. This is the truth. If we actually look around and we see, we'll only see practical things. But if we close our eyes, the moment we close our eyes, we'll see all the things that we want to believe in, that we think that might happen. And this is what the whole book is about. Moving on to the further part, there are some 10 lessons that this book has actually taught me, to many viewers, and also many people who have read this book, and I want to share this with you. The very first lesson is fear is a bigger obstacle than the obstacle itself. Imagine the situation of Santiago. Pehla fear, talking to his father that I don't want to be a priest being such a noble deed, a pandit who wants to work with spirituality and everything. No, I don't want to do that. I want to go and roam around the world. The first fear, overcoming it. What did Santiago do? He got up, he went to his father, talked about his fear, that I don't want to be a priest. I want to be somebody who I love, who I won't be complaining. This decision would be my decision. And so he moves forward. And actually looking in our practical life, everything or anything that beholds us is our fear. Our fear of the rejection, our fear of not being approved, our fear of losing, our fear of failure. And can anybody tell me the exact definition of what fear is? Does anybody know what exactly a fear is? How can we define fear? Who would like to say that? How can we define fear? Like immediately when we say fear, the only thing that I can imagine is lack of faith. When we lack faith, that's when fear overpowers us. If we have faith, we do not have fear. It's either of the F's in our life. It's either faith, either fear. So you think which F you want in your life. Is it the fear that is surrounded, or is it the faith that is going to lead you ahead in life? And mind you, guys, there's no age bound, there's no caste, there's no age, there's no thing in the universe that can stop you from achieving your dream. If you just take out that fear from your life, whatever you will, you can become if you just have that faith. The next one that we have is what is true will always endure. Truth can never be hidden. As long as talking about our protagonist, Santiago, the truth about his destiny that he had to go to the pyramids, he had to achieve what he wants. This is the truth of his life. Everybody is sent to this planet to achieve a certain thing. And that is your life purpose, your goal. And if you are fearing that, you're hiding away, you're moving away from that truth, you are just living a life that is a lie. You're just trying to please others. Yes, certain times there are situations that are not in your favor, that are very, very gruesome, that are not allowing you to be truthful to yourself. But this cannot be hidden for long. This cannot be hidden from you. Whenever you're doing something, whenever you're pursuing something, you're always listening to something that your mind is saying and something that your heart is saying. It depends on you whether what you want to listen to, your heart or your mind. And if you listen to your heart, most of the time, it will tell you what is the truth. Because mind is very complex. It gives you all the practical examples of everything. Whereas heart gives you what you love. Correct me if I'm wrong. Third point that we have is break the monotony. Considering the situation right now, we're going through a huge COVID crisis. We have so many news these days of people losing their life, people losing their loved ones, people suffering. And what are we able to do? We're sitting at home. I once read a joke, which was not exactly a joke, but it did say that we heard from our grandparents or great grandparents that during our time, we had the War of Independence. We fought for our country. We hear a lot of historic things. We hear from our parents. Do you know how we went to school? We went with so much of trouble. What are we going to talk to our children about? We had COVID crisis. What were you doing, Dad? We were sitting at home because that's the best we can do. And yet we are doing the best we can, but yet we're living that monotonous life. We're trying to live that life, that one whole thing. You guys believe that started in last March, 2020 March, and today is 2021 May, and the whole circle has been played. Last summer, we had such a situation, and today we have the same thing. It feels like we're revolving in a circle. And here we wake up, we live a life, we go to our work, we come home, sit with our flags and sleep. Next day again, we wake up, we work, we sit with our family and sleep. Every day we do the same thing. But if we want to go and achieve our dream, we need to break this monotony. We need to break this. We have to do something extra to get something extra in our life. Because if we don't do anything extra, hell, you're not going to get anything extra in your life. You're never going to get it. Fourth point, that is embrace the present. We fail to do this. I think everybody at every age, whether we are a 20-year-old person, a 16-year-old, 10-year-old, or even a 95-year-old, we just forget to embrace our present. We don't do that. We are either living in our past or we are trying to be anxious about our future. We live in our past talking about, I made so many mistakes in my life. आज मेरा present ये नहीं होता अगर मैंने वो किया होता तो. But what about today? What about that? What about Santiago? He was living in his present. He was willing to live in his present, forgetting everything about what he would have been or what he will be. He just decided to be in the present. And he decided to pursue his dream of what he wants. And that is why living in the present is most important. And also the fact that why do we call it a present is because it's a gift from the God. It's a gift from the God that we only live in present, which is why we call it present. It's like a gift for us. And yet, the most important thing, we absolutely forget. We just forget about it. Your success has a ripple effect. Rippling effect. When you are succeeded by something, when you have a success of your own, when you take a brave step, a courageous step, everything around you gets beautiful. How is that possible? It is possible. Because every day we are trying to achieve something, we're trying to move towards our goal. And while we are moving towards our goal, if you're not harming anybody in this process, we're doing the best we can. And so it leads an impact. You don't know how many people are getting inspired by you today. You don't know that. So if you're doing something noble, if you're doing something that you want to achieve, you're breaking the stereotypes, you're moving forward. Lots and lots of people are around you that are looking at you and that are willing to be like you, maybe. Maybe when you are during that journey of success, you're irritated by a lot of things that annoys you around you. But as soon as you try to focus on your thing, those annoyances are rippled away from you. They are gone. When you focus on what you want. As more as Santiago is concerned, he was robbed twice in his journey. He had to leave his love of the life. And he had to move forward. We tend to meet people, we tend to live with them, we tend to have a lot and lots of other things around us. But one life purpose that is very important is that you have to go and get your dreams done. If we fail to do that, we fail to do a lot of things. The sixth point that we have is making a decision. This is very difficult. I think so. Making a decision, making up our minds. Firstly, breaking the stereotype and making a decision that is going to have a lots of opposition is a great thing. Considering Santiago's work of quitting being a priest and deciding to explore the world while being a shepherd in itself is a very stereo breaking type. But he did it anyway. Imagine the fact if we live in a practical world, in a practical society, where everything around us or every discussion that we do starts with practically this is impossible. This is true. Practically it is impossible. But if we do not have that imagination, practicality is always going to overpower us. So, which is why there's a very famous quote that we say that logic never produces magic. If you are living in that logic, you won't be able to experience the magic that might be or will be happening to you. So, making that decision is important because it could be a decision of anything. It could be a decision out of the box. Let's assume about we are actually connecting to each other. We have different people living in different places, Mumbai, Bangalore, Kolkata, so many different places. And yet we are connecting. If nobody would have made this decision of inventing the electricity, we wouldn't have been over here contacting each other in this gruesome period. And if I actually have to say a gruesome period, this is true because if we look around us, we're not even able to meet our loved ones. The whole and soul thing that we have today in front of us is our mobile, our laptop. And we are able to connect each other. Only through a person who would have thought that no, not every time it is necessary to go and meet a person physically. We can and we should make a device that can let us meet people who are around everywhere, around the globe. If that wouldn't have been a decision, this wouldn't have been happening today. Imagine the situation right now, we're all packed and there's no mobile phone, there's no laptop, there's no television. More people would have died out of depression instead of the COVID. But today, because a person took the decision of inventing something that was out of the box, made a decision of inventing something, talking about Wright brothers, inventing the plane. Who would have thought a machine carrying hundreds of people flying in the air? Who would have thought that? Nobody. But those people made it come true because they had a decision in their head, because they had a dream, they had a vision. Now, if they would have stuck with the practicality, this wouldn't have been possible. That makes us to move on our point number 7, that be unrealistic. Don't be realistic always. Reality is what we're living in, which is why God has given us a brain, but brain is very different than our mind. Our brain actually knows everything about our customs, traditions, everything. But our mind, he knows nothing. He knows what our heart wants. So being practical is never going to work for us. If Santiago would have been very practical, oh, it's just a dream. So what? I'm living in this village where I would go to Egypt, dug there and find some treasure. I would have seen some film, and which is why I'm having this recurring dream. We wouldn't have got this novel. We wouldn't have been having this session today. But it just takes a little bit of unrealistic imagination that makes us do some unrealistic things. Sometimes, we hear our children speak something very different. Mom, how would that be if I would be invisible? What would have happened? Oh, this is something unrealistic, but we break that. Better, this is never going to happen. You can never be invisible, okay? There's no potion like that. And that's when the kid starts thinking, yeah, maybe mom is always right. So this is sort to be right. And so that unrealistic part, that magical part of a child's brain is also being kept to the side. And so when a child is dreaming of becoming something like a chef or something unrealistic, by the time he's growing up, he's gathered, he's surrounded by all the reality, all the practical things. And so he finally decides to be an engineer. But it just takes a little courage for us. As being parents, we often try to do this. We try to impose a lot of practicality on our children. Now, imagine the fact if Santiago's father would have said, Beta, are you gone mad? You want to explore the world. You have money? Do you have the tickets to go around? How are you going to go around? Chupchap बैठ के पंडित बनो. What would have happened? Nothing. So it's important that we support those who are actually being unrealistic because they have the magical power, I believe. If people are saying something unrealistic, and by that I want to clear, not stupid, I mean unrealistic. Okay, so don't get it confused with something stupid, but unrealistic. That could actually be possible. Make that happen. We have point number 8, keep getting back up. So now, while Santiago was talking about his dreams, that he has to have a backup, backup does not mean a backup for your goal. Chalo, koi baat nahi, if I'm not able to be a chef, I'll be a gym trainer. Okay, if I'm not able to be a gym trainer, I'll be a teacher. Not that backup. Your goal is destined. Your goal is, Santiago's goal was to go to the pyramids and achieve his treasure, but his plans could have a backup. His plans to go there could have a backup. His plans to achieve that dream could have a backup. Like while he was traveling, a group of thieves, they steal from him. Now that was not in his plan. He had a plan of selling his sheep, taking the money and going. Now being robbed was out of his plan. So he had to redefine his plan. He had to have a backup of his plan to go and achieve his dream. Focus on your own journey. While we're living, we'd be having a lot of competition. We have lots and thorough competition around us in any field. You go and you become anything, you have lots and lots of things that are competing with you. But while we focus on the people who are next to us, focus on what we have. Focus on what we can do. Focus on what we can achieve. Because that is the main important point of life. You can't erase somebody else's line. That's not going to increase your line. You're going to be stagnant. If you erase somebody else's line, you're just going to be stagnant. But try to make and increase your line. That is going to give you something that you want. that is going to get you closer to your goal. An ending point, always take action. All of the 9 points are going to make no value in your life if you do not take the 10th point seriously. Which gives me a very great example. Imagine the fact that you decide to prepare pav bhaji today. That, okay, I'll be having pav bhaji. You go down, you bring all the vegetables, and everything is ready. All the spices are ready, pav is ready, bread is ready, and vegetables, everything is ready. Now you're sitting on your sofa and thinking, okay, pav bhaji, when is it going to come? It's not going to come. You have to get up and make that plan work. You have to take the action for that plan. How will it work if you do not take an action for your plan? While I'm sitting here, I'm imagining for the fact that someday I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I don't know how, but yes, someday I will be. And I'm sitting in my cabin, imagining the fact that, okay, I will be seeing flying cars in my near future. I'm preparing the plan. I'm keeping my team ready. Everything is ready. But to implement it, I'm doing nothing. I'm sitting on my chair. I know the color is going to be red. I know it is going to have wings of this shape. All of this is being prepared in my head. But actually, when there's a time to implement it, I'm not doing it. Similarly, if Santiago would have thought that, okay, I have to go to Egypt, I'll be selling my sheep, I'll be doing this, I'll be going there, I'll be taking this train, I'll be taking this path, and then I'll be reaching the pyramids, I'll dig there, and then I'll do it. And then he's sitting there. He would have never been able to reach there. So all the 9 points would be meaningless if you don't take your plans into action. The whole scenario comes to this one point, that make your plans work. And talking about desires, it does not mean that your desires need to be something of achieving the world. Your desires could be the tiniest thing which gives you happiness. The tiniest moment of courage that gives you happiness. That you need to achieve. It need not be something relating to your career or something relating to your relationship or your health, nothing. It just needs to be what your heart wants. And that's when you'll be getting that. Summing up the whole story, Santiago goes to the pyramids. He gets what he wants. There he meets another man who is having a recurring dream of the same treasure. But unlike Santiago, he says that it's just a dream. It's not going to play any role in my life. And the story ends there. This was the whole thing. And I just want to be very, very thankful to everybody, because you all are very, very patient and amazingly just kept on listening to what I was saying. Really, my students don't do this.
It was amazing, Kinjal. We enjoyed
Thank you.
the story and whatever points you brought out from the book, right? As you said, if we imply those goals into actions, definitely we can achieve whatever we dream of. So wonderful. And I like the portion when you said, "Arey pagla gaya kya? Wahan Egypt tak jayega bina ticket ke."
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Just very grateful for this session that I had to take. And I know the situation is very tense these days. And if we can have these sessions, this is a lovely part, because most of us are going through a lot. And this is just important. This is just mind refreshing. And while I was saying all these points, I was actually trying to encourage my own self to do a lot more that I want to achieve. So this is a great platform, and I'm really thankful to everybody that is present today. Thank you very much for this wonderful
Wonderful session, Kinjal. Thank you so much. Yes, anybody would like to ask any question to Kinjal, or you want to put across your views?
Yeah, I will.
Yes, Kamlesh sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank
Hello,
you,
sir.
Kinjal
How are
ji.
you?
Bas
Hi,
fine.
how are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Kinjal ji. You have taken great learning from this lesson you have taken out. And
Thank you. Thank you so much.
it is really very admiring for you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your wise words.
May I please?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
ma'am.
sure.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, Kinjal, first of all, to start with, I looked at the flyer or the poster which Mr. Vijay had shared on the group. First thought came to my mind was you must be a 10th standard or 12th standard student. But now that I came to know that you're a teacher, I am really would like to connect with you and know that what are you actually doing. So, and keeping up with the presentation, thank you for this presentation, The Alchemist. Rather than keeping it in to-do list to read in future, you helped us to go through this story in short, the book in short, so that actually you made us, all of us who have attended this, in taking out the time and utilizing it in a productive and a positive way. And I also to say that your pronunciation and your vocabulary on your language is very nice. I loved hearing you throughout. Your voice is something I can always love to hear. So that also added up to the review of the book. And just one suggestion as a friendly, if I can just tell you, if in
Yeah,
case
yeah,
whenever
sure,
you're
definitely. All the
if you can
suggestions
just
are
keep
welcome.
the device camera at your eye level, it would actually rather impact very nicely, because all else is positive. It's just that it feels as if you're seeing down. So let us
Okay,
have an
I get it.
eye-to-eye contact, face-to-face, as if Kinjal is sitting in front of
I
us and
get it.
talking to us.
Kinjal
So that will
Kinjal
actually
is-
help you. Really
Kinjal
help
is
you.
quite tall.
Adding up.
So we were all assuming Kinjal is quite tall and we were just looking at.
Kinjal is very tall.
I wouldn't be very particular about it, but I'm an average height. I would just say that.
Yeah, it will automatically give an ripple effect on your posture, the way you sit and the way confidence your body. The moment you sit straight and have your eye-to-eye contact with the device level as well, no, it really has a good effect. So just one
Thank
thing
you so
as a
much,
friendly
ma'am.
suggestion.
Definitely, I'm
And
going
overall,
to take
thanks
this.
for sharing The Alchemist. I will always remember this. Thank you, Kinjal.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else who would like to say something? Well, that was great, Kinjal. I hope that you guys have also might have heard about the 5 AM club. So it's a big book and which would not be covered in 1 hour time. So I was thinking like we can share it in the multiple chapters and have multiple sessions going forward on the same book. Maybe we can schedule something like this. One book we take up and then cover chapter by chapter as session 1, session 2, or episode 1,
True,
episode 2, episode 3. That will be quite helpful for the people who are watching it in YouTube or any other channels also. And it will be helpful for them to whatever they learn from the book, they will be able to imply that into the life, because these are all self-help books. Even The Alchemist is a book which talks more about the action and also about the dream and what we desire in our life, how to achieve that. So certainly, Kinjal, great session we had today. Thank you so much for doing this on this Saturday.
Thank you so much, sir. Deepika ma'am, I'll surely give you a message. I think you're in the group and I'll definitely contact you.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay sir. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you one and all for attending this evening session today on the book review session of The Alchemist. And I wish you all a great evening. Have a good time with your family. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.